Hello, everyone. I only expected to come back to finish up Oregon soccer because I have those last two games that I really want to get to. However, as I was dropping off my ballot, as I always do, about 4 hours before the polls close, because I'm that kind of a person, I always vote. It's just that I vote the same day all the time. I happened to see one of Colorado Springs' unfinest police officers. And if you don't know much about Colorado Springs Police Department, all you need to know is that they are continuously investigated by the FBI, regardless of if there is a Republican or a Democrat that's in the White House. Because our police force is just that corrupt. But then again, as we're finding out, our political system is just that corrupt. Welcome to Argentina, circa 1985. Afghanistan, Russia, Turkey, Egypt. I'm trying to think the other, North Korea, of course. There are so many dictatorships that we have basically gone that way. I have been telling people as far back as I can remember, our democracy depends on one election. And everyone looks at me and says, "No, Kim, you're wrong. No, it'll keep on going." No, it won't. It won't. All it took was a half-black president. That's all it took. Yeah. That brought out all the races. That brought out all the people. They thought they could come out of the woodwork and it was okay to bring their hate to the forefront. And now we have police officers sitting there intimidating people at the polling box. So what do? I'm sitting there going, am I allowed to stop and put my ballot in? Will he pull me over? It's a private parking lot, so he doesn't really have any rights to what happens in his private parking lot. I know this, but does everybody else? Should I park? Then I notice more people are parking because maybe they think they should park because there's this police officer there and that they shouldn't pause to drop off their ballot. Now I paused to take a picture of this police officer, and when I got done, he smiled at me, put on his helmet, and took off. And I thought, oh, maybe, he thought twice about it and left. But no, he didn't. I rounded the corner and he just moved. And all of a sudden, about a half a dozen big, obnoxious trucks showed up. Yes. And a couple of motorcycles. And then a couple of people started going past my car that was parked and turned off and started yelling obscenities at me. Because we're such a classy city, Colorado Springs. Yes. Make everyone so proud to live here. We're Space Force, aren't we? Home of the Air Force Academy. Home of freedom, right? We're free. We're free, aren't we? We're free to take a picture. We're free to vote without intimidation. We're free to vote without police officers intimidating us. We're free to vote without election officials pulling up shortly thereafter, which I have on video. We have all this freedom in El Paso County that I keep hearing about. I mean, and then Doug Lamborn, our representative, who doesn't represent anything but himself and his family, and is undergoing so many investigations because he's so corrupt, talks about crime. The only thing that I see Colorado Springs Police Department doing in El Paso County is trying to catch people in traffic violations. Or apparently intimidating people at the ballot box, because that's very, very important. You really need to do that. You've got to make sure that, those people of color, the ones that I'm talking about, the ones that don't look like me, look like this, that have this really pale skin and really pale hair and blue eyes that you can't see. These people right here that don't look like this, those people get a little nervous for no reason whatsoever, because I got a little nervous. He actually took a picture of my car, which was absolutely hilarious because I don't have a license plate on the front of my car. And in Colorado, you're supposed to. And I just keep forgetting to put it on. My husband and I were laughing about that when we did it. We went random Target shopping tonight afterwards. So you took a picture of me, unless it got facial recognition from that far away. He has no idea who I am at all. So it was all just a hilarious political stunt put on to harass citizens. And then they pretend, they're like, well, if you don't have anything to be afraid of, then why are you worrying? Well, that's not the point. Because like I said, all of a sudden I'm going, am I allowed to stop? Can I not stop? Do I have to park? What am I supposed to do in this situation? I don't know. It's all these things. And then the election officials show up, and even the people that were walking over there, because he's pulling out ballots, and he's pointing to them. He's like, no, you can just put it in the slot above. Well, the slot above is going into the boxes that he's removing. So they're just falling into nothing. And they're like, okay, so you got to pick them up and put them in the box? Or are they just going to just sit there and not get counted? And you're going to put a box on top of them? I mean, that would be what would be going through my mind. And you could see the hesitation in these people. So, of course, this is what's going on. Because it's that one election. It was that one election. It was that 2016 election, when people thought, oh, we're going to shake it up. Oh, no, Hillary's corrupt. Coming from the 2016 election when y'all just voted for the most corrupt person on the entire planet. Yes, they actually tried to stage a coup on our government, the United States of America. A coup. Yes, here. We look like a friggin' joke. I know. You know why I know? Because I sit here. This is me, former Green Beret military wife, who lived overseas 9/11, was given instructions on what we had to do if we had to evacuate at the last minute. And that's how we live. And how my family is going to meet up and where we are going to go. And we have everything in place. My family's all going to be okay. Other people's families? Probably not. But other people's families may be the ones that are the forever purge. I mean, everybody thinks it's a joke, and it's not. It's great if you want this ridiculous Gilead, vision for the country. But look what happens to Serena when her husband's killed. She ends up basically a handmaid, and then they want to take away her baby. That's what happens. That's what happens to people. And you don't know. You walk around acting like you're perfect and everything's going great. You've got this wonderful life. And then just like that, everything falls apart. And I know, because that's what happened in my life. My husband's gone. Income's gone. Life falls apart. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And I end up in politics. I end up analyzing data. So what have I been doing? 538. My buddy Nate Silver. If you haven't checked out 538, that's where you need to go. Because guess what, people? I hate to break it to you, but the Democrats are going to lose. And I've known this. I'm a pessimist, though. Well, I say that I'm a realist, and everybody calls me a pessimist. I believe in reality. We're going to lose. Yay. Even more restrictions. Illegally pack the Supreme Court. Yay. They take away women's rights. Because that's where the government should be, right? Right there. Right there beside my doctor. Yes. So happy he was there. So happy that Lamborn's standing right there by my doctor. It's a good thing. Because he's just the smartest person in the world. He keeps talking about Space Force, and if you haven't seen those uniforms, you really got to check those out because those are amazing. You want to keep your stuff for you? Great. Keep it for you. I'm going to keep all my tax dollars for me because the blues pay more taxes than the reds. Fact. I could go down a long litany of facts and it wouldn't matter. It's always the red versus the blue. And unfortunately, the blues have been so conciliatory over decades, and the reds have been picking fights. That's why we're in the situation we're in. And I used to tell, of course, my family this, and none of them listen. And my brother's an idiot, and he really wouldn't listen. That it wouldn't matter because anytime something happened with like a blue candidate, or if something happened along those lines, it was blown completely out of proportion. Look at Hillary and the servers and those emails. Oh my God. Oh my God. No. Not Hillary and those emails. Oh my God. That disqualifies her. She needs to go to jail. They're threatening she needs to go to jail now because of those. Okay. And Trump took home top secret classified information that only like 4 people in the US are allowed to have. I didn't even tell my husband about this information until it got out. I told him that Trump wasn't even allowed to actually have some of this information. And if he was allowed to have it, someone had to be with him to have it. He was not allowed to move it, so somebody was in on it. So his little experiment of shaking up the government just cost us government assets all over the world. You know, those spies that help you at night so you can sleep. You don't have to worry. Yeah, those ones. He took those records, but they're missing. Yeah. Nuclear assets, nuclear secrets. Yeah, those are gone. And they're missing. But that's okay because Jared just made millions and millions from the Saudis. Can't imagine how that happened. And Israel. That's interesting. I wonder how he was able to do that. Since he wasn't legally allowed to have security clearance. I mean, Trump would have never gotten a security clearance. No one around him would get a security clearance. And yet, he shipped boxes of secure information that he shouldn't have been anywhere near, let alone shipping it. Who the fuck told him that was okay? But, yeah, you Republicans who all think it's okay because, it's your guy, got to fix the country. So you had to do something, right? If it takes a coup to take over, to fix it, because Democrats are going to come for your guns, right? Yeah, and they're taxing you, and what are they doing with your taxes? They're giving people free lunches. Oh no. Oh, oh no, that's really bad. Yes, because you know what just happened? All that money that I was able to get for what is her name? Oh, Jordan Wormdahl. Yeah, Jordan Wormdahl, the school she teaches at. The one? Yeah, that my family's really ungrateful for. That has a 97% rate of free school lunches that you all are giving your money to. Yeah, that one. You don't want them to have free lunches, do you? No, they shouldn't have free lunches. They shouldn't have any lunches. They should just have basketballs. That will fix that school. They should play basketball hungry. Yes, there we go. Wormdahl's fixed that school, showed everyone. Way to go. Love it. Love it when Derek, Brandy, and Jordan could fix everything. Now, if they could just fix Tyler quarterback stats, something might work. But I'm guessing no. So we can move on from there. If they would just, actually do something like, work as a civilian Space Force or join the military and serve your country, then I might have some respect for you. But you don't. So I have no respect for you. I had little to begin with. So we had one election. We were one election away in 2016. And y'all didn't listen. And our country is gone. There's no way for us to get it back. It has been gerrymandered, and the Supreme Court will only side with the opposite. The election laws, they've taken away your right to vote. If your state doesn't like the way you vote, they can change it. Yeah, you don't have the right to vote anymore. You are one election away. And the people in America were too stupid to listen to the people who knew better. Because you didn't want to listen to intellectuals, did you? You didn't want to listen to people that went to college. You didn't want to listen to people that had schooling. You didn't want to listen to those people because you thought they looked down on you. It could be that they might know something about this. Kind of like when I go in to have my car fixed, I don't sit there and say, Mr. Mechanic, you're an idiot. It's not my engine. It's my rear brakes. Because, yeah, I know so much about my car. I mean, I do know some about my car, but I certainly, if there's some noise coming from my engine, I'm not going to tell him he's an idiot and it's coming from my brakes. No, I'm going to trust my mechanic. But unfortunately, our founding fathers and the expanded Constitution gave every idiot the right to vote. And if you want to believe in the Constitution, which I do, you have to go with it. You have to go with everyone has the right to vote. So I do. Everyone does have the right to vote. There's no denying that. I will never say that they don't. I only would have hoped that instead of cutting back civics classes, we would have taught our children why it's so important to vote and how laws are made and how bills are passed and what the Constitution really stands for and what our Supreme Court is used for and what our other courts are used for. And this is why it's so important to be active, to be politically active, and why it's so important to not be a selfish little prick. And why you don't hire somebody who has claimed bankruptcy 6 times to run a country, who has no experience whatsoever and is devoid from reality. And every single psychiatrist in the US believes is certifiably insane. So yes, our polls close in 90 minutes. It's not going to matter. We've lost. What you can do is hold on for the ride that is coming, because your Social Security is going to be cut. Your Medicare is going to be cut. All in the name of inflation. They are going to cut taxes on the wealthy. They are going to raise taxes for the poor. On the poor. We're going to go back to trickle-down economics on steroids because it worked so well in the 80s. My dad's still waiting for it. And he was dumb enough to vote for Trump. Maybe it's dementia. I don't know. No one. That's, I don't know. Yeah. Whatever. I and my husband, on the other hand, will be doing really well. So I guess thank you for that. But I can't really say thank you for taking away our rights, because those will be curtailed. We'll end up in a semi version of Turkey or Russia, something along those lines. Well, nothing will get done in the next 2 years. So you'll all convince yourself that you need to vote for a Republican so something will get done. And then our country's gone. But I have dual citizenship. And I can go to the EU. My family can go with me. Or I can go south. Right now, Mexico's looking like a cakewalk compared to what I predict is going to happen in the U.S. So, this is Kim and 30 Minutes in Politics. Wishing you all the best. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.